Hello, good morning students. In this class we discuss about real and reactive power control in a power system. So first of all we discuss about the interconnection of utilities. So we know that most of the utilities have interconnection facility. Means power system have interconnection facility with one another. Most of the power systems have interconnection facility with one another, with each other, and these interconnection facilities may be of two types. One is integrated and second is unintegrated. Interconnection facilities are of two types. One is integrated and another is unintegrated. First, interconnection of power system means a power system in which there are so many power generating units, and these power generating units are connected to each other. So this system is known as interconnection system of utilities. So interconnection are of two types. One is integrated type and second is unintegrated type interconnection. So first is integrated type interconnection system. In this type of interconnection system, full power system acts as a single unit. In integrated connection, full power system acts as a single unit. Means number of units in the power system are completely interconnected to each other. Means if there is demand, increase in demand at load side, then all the units support to fulfill the variation in load. So we can say that in this type of interconnection or system is acts as a single unit. But in unintegrated connection system, or full power system is not a single unit. Number of units are interconnected to each other whenever required. So this is the difference between integrated connection and unintegrated connection. In integrated, number of units are connected to each other and our whole power system acts as a single unit. Then this type of connection is not known as integrated connection. But in unintegrated connection, utilities are interconnected to each other whenever required. So in this case, our full power system is not a single unit. When we need or when a demand increase at one unit, then second unit can support or can provide power to that unit for some time. So this is the integrated and unintegrated connection of power system. power system, there are several benefits of interconnection. One is increase in reserve power. Advantages are advantage increase in reserve power, increase in reserve power, increase in reserve power. Advantage of interconnections are: one is increase in reserve power, second is increase in service reliability, increase in service reliability, service reliability, increase in service reliability. And third point is addition and replacement of transmission facility. Next, installed capacity saving, installed capacity saving, installed capacity saving. Next is decrease in spinning reserve, and next is operating saving. One point is operating saving. Operating saving. And last point was addition and replacement of transmission facility. Addition or replacement of transmission facility. Addition and replacement of transmission facility. So these are the advantage of interconnection, the power system. One is increase in reserve power, second is increase in service reliability, third point is installed capacity saving, fourth point is operating saving, and last point is addition or replacement of transmission facility. Next point is interconnected power system should be coordinated from three angles. Next point is coordination of interconnected power systems coordination of interconnected power system. Coordination of interconnected power system should be in such a manner that first point is at any time the total system generation must be equal to system load plus losses. First point is total generation at any time equal to total demand plus losses. Total demand plus losses means our interconnection of power system should be in such a manner that total generation should be equal to total demand plus losses. Next point is that at any time the balance between production and absorption of lagging work must be equal. Second point is generation of reactive power VAR is equal to absorption of VAR. Means at any time generation of reactive power should be equal to absorption of reactive power, because difference in reactive power creates change in parameters of the system. And last point is that the generation at different plants must be scheduled that the incremental cost of power delivered to the load is same for each generator. It means incremental cost of generation equal incremental cost for each power station or each generator. Means coordination of our power system should be in such a manner that total power generation is equal to power absorption plus losses. Second point is total reactive power generation should be equal to total reactive power absorption. And third point is coordination of our generators or power generated by the generators should be in such a manner that equal incremental cost for each generator. Means if there is equal incremental cost for each generator, it reduces the cost of system at each unit. So these are some points about interconnection of power systems, advantage of power system, and coordination of power systems. Now, if there is change in generation and consumption of active and reactive power, it may cause change in frequency or in voltage. If there is any change in generation, any change, or we can say that difference, there is difference in large difference in generation and consumption of active and reactive power it affects to the system frequency and system voltage means if interconnected power system advantage we have seen. What if there is difference in generation and absorption of active and reactive power in power system? So there is a large difference between generation and consumption. So due to this difference affects to the system frequency and system voltage. Simply we can say that active power is related is the function of frequency and reactive power is the function of voltage. Simply, active power is the function of frequency and reactive power is the function of voltage. Means if there is change in active power, it means it will affect to the system frequency. And next, if there is change in reactive power, it will affect system voltage. Simply, if generation increase, if generated active power is greater than consumption, then this large difference in active power may cause increase in system frequency. Or similarly, if there is large difference in reactive power generation, so it will affect to the voltage. Means if generated reactive power is greater than consumed reactive power and if difference is large, then system voltage will be affected. So now we have to control the system frequency and voltage, which can be controlled by controlling the active power input or reactive power input. We can see the active and reactive power of the system. So next point will be control of real and reactive power control. Next point is real and reactive power control. Real and reactive power control. Real and reactive power control. Reactive power control. Real and reactive power control. As we discussed, real power, change in real power is the function of frequency. Difference of real power affects to the system frequency, and difference of reactive power, difference of reactive power is the function. Difference of reactive power affects to the system voltage. And change in frequency, system frequency, large change in system frequency or voltage is the function of stability of power system. Means we can say that change of frequency and voltage affects the system stability. Change in frequency and voltage affects to the system stability. So now we require active and reactive power control of power system. So now the active and reactive power control is possible next point is methods of active and reactive power control. Methods of active and reactive power control. Methods of real and reactive power control. So first is load frequency control and second is reactive power control. First is load frequency control and second is automatic voltage control. Automatic voltage control, or we can say that reactive power control. Reactive power control. Now this complete system show the active and reactive power control of our power system. So in this system there is a generator. A generator input is provided connected to the turbine and output of generator to the given to the system, and this is excitation system. So here to control the active power of our system we use steam governor controller. And similarly to control the reactive power output of generator we use excitation controller. Means when we change in excitation, then output of reactive power output of generator also change. Similarly, when we change input to the turbine then output of turbine affects to the mechanical input to the generator, and which change the active power output of generator. This is complete layout represents to the active and reactive power control of generator. Thank you for today class, dear students.